most exciting aspect of the upcoming Minnesota Vikings season is the fact that, as we've talked about ad nauseum to this point, we're under new coaching. The offensive philosophy is going to change. And so far, the change in offensive philosophy hasn't just been noticed by us reading about this stuff, but it's been noticed by the players, namely Justin Jefferson, who recently came out and said that he's super excited about the direction of this offense. So, and I am too. I'm so ready for this culture, for this just this culture shift. But I'm so ready for the shift in philosophy in offensive play calling. With the talent we have, it's going to be so much more fun to watch, so much more wide open, and I think it's only going to help this team win football games. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I think, actually, you know what? Before we do that, I want to thank everybody for watching the GG Sport podcast of the Minnesota Vikings. We're almost to 500 subscribers, on our way to 1,000 subscribers. So hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, get notifications for more of our videos and all that good stuff. But yeah, I mean, like you already mentioned, Justin Jefferson. Let me pop on right now. So like you said, Justin Jefferson seems like he is loving the KOC acquisition. You know, they had what's it called? Not training camp, obviously, but player
like OTAs and
OTAs. Yeah, they had OTAs, and so he probably got a good look at what the offense looks like. And based off what Justin Jefferson says, it sounds like it's definitely not going to be a run first offense, which he's really excited about because he's already the best wide receiver, the best start to wide receiver in wide receiver's career in NFL history in a run first offense by a defensive coach, defensive minded coach. So that's insane. And now it's going to be a pass first offense. He's the best wide receiver in the league, and he's going to eat. And it's going to help, I think because of that, it's also going to help Dalvin Cook and keep him healthier and keep him fresh, especially from getting as many attempts and stuff like that. But it will also offer Dalvin Cook some more chances at catching passes.
Right.
And I think he's even up for that. And I mean, even mentioning Dalvin Cook, he also, since we're on the subject of players saying stuff, he also mentioned that he thinks he's like ready to be a straight feature back, still straight work. He prouds himself at being a workhorse back. And I believe he said something like he wants the ball 30 times a game, every game type of thing, 30 touches a game, every game. So he's not going down either. So, I mean, we're going to be seeing a lot of passes to him, I think. And Justin Jefferson, man, I'm excited for that offense for sure.
And here's exactly what Justin Jefferson had said. He said, it's not a run first offense anymore. Just us being able to put people in different positions and distributing the ball. Really, I'm so excited in this offense, us just being at OTAs, learning the plays, going through with our defense and stuff. We're all excited. We're happy to have O'Connell here. It's a different vibe and a different connection in the building with him there, which of course is something that we all also had talked about ad nauseum, how it's just that all these players are saying it just feels different going to practice and going to work for them. That just everything that they're going through, they're enjoying it so much more than they would have in years past with under Zimmer. So I'm ready, man. I'm excited to see where this goes. And
training camp's going to be so exciting, watching like practice and clips and all that stuff, especially when the pads come on, to see what we can expect. I can't wait for the first preseason game when we can just see what that offense might look like. Just any peek to see what it's going to look like and what the play calling is and how much pass. It's just going to be so crazy from going just straight running, especially even before Mike Zimmer, because we did have Adrian Peterson, who's going to whoop Le'Veon Bell's ass. We did have him, and of course you run your team through a player that talented. So it didn't really matter, but now it's like we have everything in place to be a pass first offense. And it's something that I feel like a lot of us fans kind of was waiting to see. And it's exciting, especially when JJ he's just see how excited he is. It kind of just pumps you up a little bit more.
Yeah. And hopefully it unlocks the potential in a quarterback like Kirk Cousins, who has a ton of it, just needs an opportunity to shine. And hopefully this offense will let him do that. So, but that's a big thing that O'Connell has been doing well up to this point. Let's switch it to the GM and his drafting, because obviously we haven't gotten a great chance to see the rookies and the young guys out on the field quite yet, but the media has. And from what it sounds like, there was I believe they asked all the ESPN asked all the writers for every team to give their kind of like their surprise of the offseason up to this point.
Yes.
And a big one that came up from Kevin Seifert, who writes about the Minnesota Vikings, is linebacker Brian Asamoah. Now, if you guys know, I was super high on Asamoah in the draft process. In our linebacker video, I had him in my top 5. I love the kid. I thought he had a lot of tenacity, a lot of speed, flew around the field. So yeah, Kevin Seifert, from what he's seen at practice, has taken notice of the kid. I believe let's take a look at what he said. Obviously, at Kevin Seifert, tab linebacker Brian Asamoah is a team surprise offseason standout. What he said about him is Asamoah's sideline to sideline speed was plainly evident in non-contact practices, as was his confidence. He joked around with an assistant coach that he wanted $5 every time someone ran past him. I'm a rich man now, he said, because I keep passing them. So it's nice to see the confidence in the kid. It's nice to see that he's doing well. Like I said, I was super happy when we drafted him. A potential, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe he'll end up taking a spot of a Jordan Hicks somewhere through this season, or maybe in the future he replaces Kendricks and just gets in a rotational role up to, or this season at least, maybe the next couple seasons. But man, I think there's a ton of potential with this kid, and the fact that he's showing out early is exciting.
Yeah, man, I agree. I think it's just him coming in and kind of being that player, especially like it just shows how mature he is already, and just kind of coming in and being that leader type guy right away. And we've talked about this about him before, is that because he was kind of like the heart and soul of that Sooners defense. So I think him being able to come in and already, not worried about stepping on toes, not worried about like all that mental stuff about being a rookie, and just coming in and being the guy he knows he is and running around the field, which is insane. That's the one thing that stood out from me big time, was his motor is just nonstop sideline to sideline, sideline to sideline. And that's one of those traits that you just don't really teach. That's just straight mental and endurance and all that good stuff. So, and just fast too. Little undersized. I think that's probably the only reason. If he was a little bit bigger, there's probably a good chance that you see him drafted in the second round for sure, at least,
Yeah.
So, no, I'm excited. Getting that kind of good news from one of those rookies this early, especially one that we got as like our fifth player pick, but it's still a 3rd round pick or whatever. But yeah, I'm pumped. But besides that, another guy on defense, this was a little later news. This was probably a little bit last week. We haven't heard as much about it lately, but it is definitely worth talking about. And that is Ndamukong Suh as a potential landing spot with the Vikings. I forgot the other team that they mentioned for him as well. There's 2 of them. But, what do you think on Ndamukong Suh? I think we definitely, at the very least, need the depth at defensive tackle, and getting a nasty guy like that. And we know a lot about him from when he played for the Lions. I think it would be a cool move, and it'd bring that, little nastiness to that defense. We talked to Dan Chat actually we'll name drop him, the Purple Pain forums, Dan Chat Purple Pain forums, and he mentioned his number one thing. Go check Purple Pain forums out, by the way, great content. But he mentioned that we need depth at defensive tackle. And then he made a great point, because that is an area that we don't really have much depth, and we aren't even 100% for sure. What was I gonna say? Not for sure confident in what we have in that area, especially, we have Watts as kind of that 3rd starter there that we don't really know how that's going to work out. But so I think as much depth as we can. What do you think on this?
Yeah, the tenacity is unmatched. The guy's a gamer.
Yeah.
He would definitely help out with the attitude along the defensive line for sure. And obviously, you look at the interior defensive line, and you got guys like, you're for sure guys. You're gonna have Delvin Tomlinson. You're gonna have Harrison Phillips, and you're gonna have Armon Watts. But behind them, it's a bunch of unproven guys and some younger guys. So a guy like Ndamukong Suh, with his track record coming in on this defense in that spot, that could
I
be.
like it.
If you're looking at your 3 more interior guys being Ndamukong Suh, Armon Watts, and Delvin Tomlinson, or I guess Armon Watts might even take a back seat. Then you'd have Ndamukong Suh, Harrison Phillips, and Delvin Tomlinson, with Armon Watts kind of sitting there behind him. Watch out, man. The middle of that defensive line would be huge. If we could pick up a guy like Suh and get him for a relatively cheap price, which at this point in his career, he's not going to demand top dollar anymore. You could probably get him pretty reasonably.
Mm-hmm.
Man, watch out. That defensive line could be just something to behold, man. I would be ecstatic if we got Ndamukong Suh for sure.
Yeah, I'm for it. I'm for it. Make it happen. Come on, Gwezzy. Make it happen.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, yeah, like I said, I don't think he would demand top dollar. I think you could get him pretty reasonably. And
yeah, we have some cap space. I mean, we're holding it for Treader, but who knows what's going on with him. So
right. Yeah, exactly. That doesn't sound like it's happening anymore.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I wonder if it's got to be something with his injuries or whatnot.
Yeah.
You'd think at this point.
Right.
But yeah, man, Ndamukong Suh, the guy's a monster. If you can get him, bring him in. Obviously, we missed out on Keem Hicks, so I would be 100% down for Ndamukong Suh. So
Yes.
that'll do it for this episode of the GG Sports Podcast. Just to kind of in general news update video, some things we wanted to get out there and talk about. Exciting stuff though, man. It lets you know football's in the air and it's getting closer. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button for us. Leave your thoughts down on all these topics in the comment section down below us. Let us know how excited you are. Let us know if you're as excited as JJ is for this offense.
Let's go.
We are. Let us know what you think about Brian Asamoah, as well as the potential of signing a guy like Ndamukong Suh. Let us know that down in the comments. If you want to check out some of our other videos we have done, you can click the links right up here. Go check those out. Most importantly, as Jamie mentioned earlier, trying to get to 500 subscribers in the road, trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. So subscribe, most importantly. And we will see you guys in the next episode of the GG Sports Podcast.
Skol Vikes.